Good evening and welcome to DETV News, your trusted news source. I'm Lauren Wilson. And the I-95 restoration project tops our stories tonight. The good news, the massive I-95 construction project that has caused major delays through Wilmington is about halfway done. Work on the northbound lanes was completed in December and construction on the southbound lanes began in January. It's expected to be completed in early 2023. Reconstruction of the northbound lanes included repairs to exit 6 to Maryland Avenue, exit 7 to Delaware Avenue, the North Adams Streets to I-95 North on-ramp, and Delaware Avenue to I-95 North on-ramp. Reconstruction of the southbound lanes is part of the project's second phase that includes reducing 95 to one lane in each direction and periodic ramp closures while new lighting, road surface, and signage and other improvements are made. In other traffic-related news, while driving on I-95 this past weekend, you may have noticed some state troopers along the roadway. That's because state police, in partnership with the Delaware Office of Highway Safety, joined forces with other law enforcement agencies across the state for the Delaware Drive to Save Lives campaign. This campaign increased traffic enforcement presence along efforts along the interstate. All 15 states that line 95 from Maine to Florida participated in the I-95 Drive to Save Lives campaign. And there's some exciting news coming to Middletown. DETV's Kaylin Pride has that story.
A new $26 million YMCA will be coming to Middletown soon, and construction is set to begin later this month. The 56,000 square foot facility will replace the existing YMCA on Cass Street, and it will include many new amenities for all to use.
It's really exciting because we are going to have a brand new full facility Y equipped with many of the amenities that we're familiar with at some of our other Ys across the state. So we'll have a kids adventure zone, a STEM lab, a community education room, a full-size gymnasium. The list really goes on.
They're exploding down there with people and buildings and businesses, and they really need a YMCA down there to serve that community.
The new facility is set to open in September of 2023 and is expected to serve 15,000 people annually and bring in new jobs to the area.
This will have a significant impact in Middletown, and one thing is it's really going to fuel economic development. So we are expecting about 300 new jobs to come to the area.
I had the chance to talk to Linda and ask if there were plans to expand the YMCA down south, and she says that those plans may be happening in the near future. At the YMCA with DETV, I'm Kaylin Pride.
It's officially Holy Week, and the Diocese of Wilmington kicked off the countdown to Easter with its annual youth pilgrimage. Reverend William Koenig spent all day Saturday with hundreds of young people and adults from all over Delaware and Maryland's Eastern Shore as they carried a cross through the streets of Wilmington. Sponsored by the Office of Catholic Youth and Young Adult Ministry, this year's theme is We Walk by Faith. The event featured a concert, prayers, a visit to St. Francis Hospital, and more.
But this is my first experience on a youth pilgrimage of this sort. I've always thought about doing something like this, so I'm really lucky and fortunate to come into a place where this has already been set up and established, and I can just be part of it.
And speaking of Holy Week, I hope the weather won't be as gloomy as it was last week. Shakira, what can we expect coming up?
Well, Lauren, I cannot make any promises about that, but let's see what tomorrow will bring. So on Tuesday, we'll be seeing showers in the morning with partly cloudy skies in the afternoon. The high will be about 73 degrees, which is very nice. And on Wednesday, we'll have a nice day as well with the high of 78 degrees and partly cloudy skies. But Thursday, even though it will be a nice warm day, the high will be about 80 degrees. It won't come without some showers or a thunderstorm in the afternoon. So Lauren, the weather looks like it'll be pretty nice for Holy Week, except for those thunderstorms that we'll expect. But hopefully everything will clear up so we have a great Easter Sunday.
Thanks, Shakira. Young adults in Students in Delaware made history this weekend as they held Delaware's first Black Student Union Summit. The student-led summit took place at the Chase Fieldhouse, and its purpose was to create networking opportunities for Delaware students who currently are a part of or wish to organize a Black student union at their school. The summit featured breakout sessions that taught students how to start or sustain a Black student union, activism, voting, and a panel discussion called Finding Your Passion in Social Justice. There were also separate workshops for teachers, advisors, and school administrators to help advocate for students and to help them build effective communities in their schools. The 3 Delaware high schools that attracted the most students received a $500 cash prize. Switching gears now, our political correspondent, Kerwin Gaines, is here, ready to bring you news on what's happening in our country with the National Minute.
This week on the National Minute, we'll be covering the final vote for the Supreme Court of the United States, the threat of recession, and Zelensky's UN address. Hello, I'm Kerwin Gaines. If you've not heard the latest in Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson's confirmation for the Supreme Court of the United States, history has been made. Thursday afternoon, with a historic vote of 53 to 47, the Senate confirmed Judge Ketanji Brown Jackson as the first Black woman to serve on the nation's highest court. This victory marked a win for Democrats and a win for President Biden, helping him check off one of his many campaign promises. In a tweet from President Joe Biden, he states, "Judge Jackson's confirmation was a historic moment for our nation. We've taken another step towards making our highest court reflect the diversity of America." President Biden goes on to note, "She will be an incredible justice, and I was honored to share this moment with her." Former First Lady Obama took to Twitter to congratulate Jackson, writing, "I was so moved to see Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson confirmed this afternoon. Like so many of you, I can't help but feel a sense of pride and a sense of joy to know that this deserving, accomplished Black woman will be part of the highest court in the land." Congratulations, Judge Jackson. In other news, there are threats of recession on the rise due to the Federal Reserve's aggressive position to handle inflation in the United States. Despite the drop in unemployment by 3.6% and 431,000 new jobs being added in March alone, doomsayers reflect on another area of concern, the higher rate of demand. While jobs soar, so has the need for cars, food, and the purchasing of homes. The new reality has led to the fastest inflation in 40 years. Policymakers in the Federal Reserve have stated that they have the tools to help the economy without causing unemployment and initiating a recession, but experienced economists remain skeptical. In an interview in March, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen stated, "We've got a good, strong economy with an excellent outlook for the labor market. Inflation is a problem, and it's one that we need to address, but I don't expect a recession in the United States, while others feel that it's inevitable." In international news, Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky delivered an emotional address Tuesday to the United Nations, reflecting on the aftermath of the Russian invasion. Following his visit to Kiev, Zelensky accused Russian Prime Minister Vladimir Putin of inflicting genocide on the country. Zelensky recounted the horrifying details of families that were murdered and women who were raped and killed in front of their children. Throughout Zelensky's speech, he addressed the United Nations and reminded its members about the purpose of our organization, to maintain and make sure peace is adhered to. To date, 1,480 Ukrainian civilians have lost their lives to the Russian invasion since its inception on February 24th. That's all for this edition of the National Minute. I'm your political correspondent, Kerwin Gaines. Back to you, Lauren.
Thanks, Kerwin. And you can also catch him every Friday night at 6:30 on DETV's The Agenda. In other news, a memorial for Vietnam veterans will soon be making its way to Delaware. William Penn High School will be the only school in the country to host the Wall That Heals in this year's national tour. A giant replica of the Vietnam Memorial Wall located in Washington, D.C. will be displayed at the high school for all to see. The names of the fallen can be etched on paper just like they are at the monument in the nation's capital. The wall will be at the high school from April 28th to May 1st. The public, especially military veterans, are encouraged to line the streets along Basin Road on Tuesday, April 26, to greet the Education Mobile Unit as it is escorted by police and veterans on motorcycles to the school. On the morning of Thursday, April 28th, people are encouraged to the opening ceremony at 9 o'clock and a candlelight ceremony on Saturday, April 30th at 8 p.m. That's when the names of local fallen Vietnam vets will be called out. For more information, visit wpthewallthatheals.com. And the last Union general killed in the Civil War was honored this past weekend with an annual ceremony to celebrate his life. Rooted in history, Wilmington's own Thomas Smith was honored with a wreath-laying ceremony by the Appomattox Camp 2 Sons of Union veterans of the Civil War. The Ireland native jumped at the opportunity to defend his adopted homeland, served throughout the war, rising through the ranks until he received his General Star in October of 1865.
Well, the importance of this date is ordinarily we hold it on the Saturday closest to Appomattox Day, which is April 9th. This year it happens to fall on that date, which is the 157th anniversary of his death and of Lee's surrender at Appomattox.
To ride or not ride? Well, I think we know the answer to that question. More than 1,000 bikers participated in the 15th annual Ride the Tide. The 55-mile ride, which was escorted by police, was organized by the Blue Knights to benefit the Special Olympics. In the event's 14-year history, over $435,000 has been raised. And this year, with 800 riders registered, plus an additional 349 passengers, more than $41,000 was raised. Well, Nick Alessandrini is here to tell us about the Sixers playoff and some local sports, too. Nick?
That's right, Lauren. It's playoff time for our 76ers. The Phillies, they start off the season taking the opening series 2 of 3 from the A's. And Salesianum Lacrosse with a big North American win for the program. And let's start right there. Allow me to tell you a little bit more. Defending state champion and Delaware #1, Salesianum, looking to improve to 4-0 on the season, but would have to get through the top team in Canada. The prestigious Hill Academy is a sports-focused high school in Ontario and is ranked as the top program in the country. On the website, it's labeled as a sports laboratory, but Sally's, they were ready. We'll pick this one up in the first quarter. It's going to be Griffin McGovern first, getting it out for a 2-1 Sally's lead. Then Colby Bushweller able to find the back of the net, 3-2 Sally's on top. Here comes Hill, though. They would answer, trailing 4-3. One of the top programs in the nation, able to get that one to go. We're all tied up at 4. Then over to Kalen Driggs for Salesianum. What a game it was for Driggs. He finished with 7 goals. Here's one of them, 5-5. Sally's ties things up. Then more Colby Bushweller, the young gun from Salesianum, able to give Sally's the lead back here, 6-5 after the Bushweller goal. We're going to keep going here. 8-6 for Sally's when Driggs is going to add another. You see him here, catch the pass and throw it in. He finds the back of the net. Sally's up on top, 9-6. Then 9-8, Hill trying to get back into this one. You see a nice pass here, able to finish. We're all tied at 9. Then it's over to Rowan Nuri. You saw him on the top plays last week. Here he is, able to get it to go, +1 on the foul. Nuri gives Sally's the lead back. 13-10 as Sally's now up by 3 over Hill Academy. It's going to be Zach Friend putting in that final goal for Salesianum. How about Sally's? 14-12, they take down the 5th-ranked team in the United States and the top-ranked team in Canada. A big program win for Salesianum. And even cooler, a video from Sally's Twitter on Saturday night. The baseball team, they were up in New York. They won 2 games, made the trip back down Saturday night. And what do? Get right off the bus and greet that lacrosse team after the big win. Let's check out that video from Salesianum's Twitter on Saturday night. Such a cool scene there as you see the baseball team, a long trip back from New York. But what timing to get there right after the lacrosse team wraps up that big win. You see the lacrosse team coming down from the hill. There goes the baseball team. They're going to celebrate that one together. You love to see that over at Salesianum. How about that? Baseball and lacrosse, both spring sports, doing some good things for Sally's. Well, let's stick with high school sports now, as it's been reported that the Class 3A Delaware football state champions, the Middletown Cavaliers, have forfeited 6 games from last season. The issue came to light after school officials discovered an athlete that was academically ineligible at the time those games were played. The athlete did become eligible at the end of the first marking period back on November 5th and was part of the team's title run in 2021. Middletown did self-report the violation to the DIAA, and that plus potential penalties, which may include stripping that 21 state championship, will be discussed at the DIAA board meeting scheduled for this week on April 14th. Now, it's been a successful season for the Delaware Bluecoats. They took home that Vegas showcase in the first half of the season, and now are heading back to the G League Finals for the second consecutive year. They earned their first home playoff win last Tuesday against the Long Island Nets at the Fieldhouse, and they followed that up with performances with 2 more playoff wins on the road over the Motor City Cruise and the Raptors 905. They now will play a 3-game series for the G League Championship beginning tomorrow in Lopezville, Texas, where they will meet the Rio Grande Vipers. Tip-off is set for 9 o'clock p.m. on ESPN2. And then the Bluecoats will return home here to the Fieldhouse on Thursday for Game 2 at 8 o'clock p.m. We hope to see you Thursday at the Chase Fieldhouse. It's championship time for the Bluecoats. And it was an opening day over the weekend for our Philadelphia Phillies as well. We got to see those new additions already make their presence felt. The Phils took 2 out of 3 from the A's at Citizens Bank Park, and it all started Friday on the first at-bat from the new Philly, Kyle Schwarber, taking that one out to begin the year. And then the other new addition, Nick Castellanos, he was able to go yard as well in the opening series. How about that? The new additions already making some noise for the Phils. To the other team in Philly now, as the 76ers wrapped up their regular season, a 118-106 win over the Pistons. No Joel Embiid, no James Harden, but Embiid did finish the season as the NBA scoring champion, leading the league, averaging 30.6 points per game. He also set the record for playing the fewest minutes per game by a scoring champion since the shot clock was introduced in 54-55. He is also the first center to average over 30 points per game since Moses Malone did it back in 82-83. And guess what? He won the MVP. So now the 76ers are locked into that number 4 seed where they will face the 5-seeded Toronto Raptors. The Sixers will now have to play at least 2 road games in Toronto where the vaccine is mandatory to get into the country. So that means the Sixers will be without Matisse Thybulle for every game that needs to be played in Toronto. The Sixers and Raptors series will begin Saturday at 6 p.m. in Philadelphia. And tonight is the 2022 WNBA Draft, and you can potentially see a Blue Hen get selected. Back-to-back CAA Women's Player of the Year, Jasmine Dickey. We'll wait and see if her name is called tonight. Dickey helped lead Delaware to their first NCAA tournament appearance since 2013. Dickey finished the year ranked 3rd in the NCAA with 25 points per game. Dickey also averaged 10 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 steals per contest while shooting over 40% from the field and over 81% from the free throw line. She was named the 22 ECAC Player of the Year, as well as a member of the All-ECAC First Team, alongside guess who? The Delaware native Lauren Park Lane from Seton Hall. You can catch that WNBA Draft live tonight, 7 o'clock on ESPN. Lauren?
Thanks, Nick. And finally, tonight, as the Easter holiday approaches, so of course does the Easter Bunny. Many children participated in Newark's annual egg hunt. It's a spring tradition. Parents watch, in some cases, even help their little ones hunt for plastic eggs filled with goodies to celebrate the Easter season. I think it's safe to say Easter is the only time when it's perfectly safe to put all your eggs in one basket. That's it for DETV News. Be sure to check us out across social media platforms. Once again, I'm Lauren Wilson, and we'll see you next time.